So here we are at the start of the trail um, that will go through the meadow and down to the river. On the side of the house here's the house and a little bit of mowed area and the meadow there, and the first section here I did last year, and I showed a little video of that last year, so we're just walking over. This is how well it worked, 1 year's worth of use, and wide enough for the garden cart, and so I can see clearly where I'm walking. So I got to this point last year, and this section that goes around to the house, back up to the house, and then so that was last year's work, and then this year I started in right here. So we're alongside this drainage slough here that winds through most of our property, and so we're kind of alongside the slough, and here it is middle September, so most of the meadow plants are way past their time. Everything dying back. A little bit of a slope here. Maybe at some point I'll be able to put some stairs in there, or somehow make it a little easier as time goes on. So still next to this slough that is quite deep at this point, at least 15 feet. Here you can see my work. The slough takes a corner here, pretty sharp turn, so the trail does too. We're starting to get some of the tide coming in. It's about another hour to high tide, and it does come in. The river is tidal. But so anyway, when I got to this corner here, I rewarded myself with this little piece of garden art, this spinner. Very pleased with that. That's a delight. So we round the corner, and unfortunately I'm heading right into the sun, so I hope this still comes out. So yeah, we had really a lot of rain this year, and so it was very wet. Trying to get through the vegetation was one thing, but then very thick moss underneath too that just really did not want to come up because it was so wet. Sometimes when the moss starts to dry out, it will peel up very easily, and that's a joy. But I did not have that going on this year. I just had really a lot of wet to deal with. Week after week. We had record-breaking rains this year. So, there's the mouth of the slough right there in the river. Got a few ducks out there today. So this was my goal anyway, to get down to the river this year. And then next year I'll start on the next section. But for now, we've got this is the terminus of this year's work. So the groomed trail ends here, and then eventually maybe we'll have a little platform here for chairs and table to sit out here and enjoy the river. You can see the tide coming in right now. It's a high tide today, like 19 feet. It's a big one. Most of the time they average between like 12 and 15. So we've got a lot of water coming in. So this is coming in from the beach, whereas the river actually flows towards the beach, of course, most of the time. So then we've got our neighbor, our downstream neighbor here had done quite a bit of work on the bank that was eroding. Had to bring some heavy equipment in and do that work. Hopefully that will save things. So then next year I'll be working on this piece here. You can see the flags. I've started to mark out the trail that will take me back up to the house, and eventually all around this secondary slough here that only sometimes has water in it, to that spruce tree there. That's sort of near the edge of our property, and then also from there back up to the kennel. You can see where the kennel is next to the house for our two doggies. And so with that, I'll hope that this is pointed at my face and I'll sign off for today.